I don't feel alone. We just settled in and it already feels like home.
You're listening to the Feels Like Home podcast with Mike Throne and Marty Ford. Powered by Horizon. This is big. This is gig. Hey guys, this is Marty and welcome to the Feels Like Home podcast. This week we sat down with local YouTuber Brent Bowers. He has a YouTube channel that is dedicated to Legos. Yes, you heard it right. Legos. And Mike and I were excited to sit down and talk to Brent. Great guy. Really enjoy the conversation. He brought us gifts. He brought us each a Lego set. So I'm excited to build mine. But Brent talked about his journey on YouTube with Legos. He gave us tons of insight about Legos, the hobby of Legos, the collecting of Legos, the reselling of Legos, the hoarding of Legos. It's kind of crazy. It's a crazy world out there revolving around Legos. We talked about the sustainability of these prices for Legos. And then he tells us a little bit about his live stream that he has. He collaborates with a guy from California that he met through his channel. And they've come together to do a live stream each week about Legos. And they bring people on who are experts about Legos. And they talk Legos. And it's called A Couple of Brickheads is the name of that YouTube channel. And so Brent really brings Mike and I into the world of Legos. And we really enjoy this conversation. We hope you do too. So here is Brent Bowers from Brent's Bricks and A Couple of Brickheads YouTube channels.
So let's catch up the audience now because we actually have a guest and you've already heard from him, but Brent Bowers is with us.
Hello.
Your YouTube channel is Brent's Bricks,
Brent's
right?
Bricks, yeah. But yeah.
And Brent's a Chillicothe guy. We kind of, I know his wife probably more than I know you because she used to work at, does she still work at T-Mobile?
Yeah. Oh, okay. She knows everybody though. She's a social butterfly to the max.
Exactly. Like I will run into people every once in a while and I'll say, oh yeah, I know somebody that works there. And oh yeah, I know her.
Yeah.
And so, yep.
Yeah. You can't go anywhere with her without stopping and talking to like 10 people. So,
well, that's kind of how we are too. So sometimes depending on what place we're in, but Brent, welcome. Thanks for coming on tonight.
Feels great to be here.
I am excited about your channel. We were just talking about this a little bit before because, folks, Brent brought gifts.
I wish you could see him.
Yeah, we'll take a picture and we'll post it. But
we'll post a before and after.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, so putting pressure on you to build.
Well, holy cow! What are you trying to do to me, man?
These are only 8+, but it's funny because
you should be able to handle that, Mike.
Yeah,
just barely.
Well, they do so many 18+ like sets now, and I'll be in the Lego aisle, or someone will just come to me with a question and be like, "So, I want to get my son this set, but it's an 18+. Does that mean it's like the hardest thing they've ever done in their life?" And I'm like, no, because the market, like Lego is marketing to literally people of any age. Yeah. And really the age recommendations are primarily for, like an 18-year-old is going to want to build something and probably put it on the shelf so it looks nice. So that's kind of where the age recommendation comes from. Yeah. Like the lower the number, it's more of a play set. Like these cars right here, $20 cars. We got the James Bond Aston Martin and the Dom's Dodge Charger from Fast and Furious. But these are 8+. So these are 100% play sets. They come with minifigures. Minifigures look like the actors, the characters. They fit inside. But at the same time, for the hardcore car fans, they're also a display model. So I'm always ready for any, like the questions. Someone's like, "So I wanted to ask you a question." I'm like, "All right, what you got?" Because I probably have an answer.
That's great.
So with you, I assume that, much like Marty and his slot cars, he did this as a kid.
Yeah.
And went away from it for a long time.
Dark age.
Yeah, for a long time.
And then was that the same experience that you had with Lego? You went away for a long time, or have you just been collecting forever?
Real long time. I won't, I've told this story so many times it hurts, but I had a lot as a kid, so much Lego as a kid. And that was a primary time because they really started doing bigger IPs like Star Wars and Harry Potter. Mm-hmm. in 1999 it started with Star Wars, and then 2001 it was Harry Potter, and then they did Lord of the Rings. So at that time I was really big into the themes. So Star Wars, Harry Potter especially. So that was big for me. And as I, was growing up, 2005 was the last Star Wars movie for a while, and then the Harry Potter movies finished. But that's kind of where I stopped. I was really into like those two specific themes. There was a few others, but those are the main things. But just, classic. You get older, you just care about sports. And for me, it was skateboarding. I think I stopped caring about everything else in my life just for skateboarding at one time. So, and then it was the same way I was kind of interested in Lego in the first place. Star Wars movies came back. Disney bought Star Wars. Then the sets were everywhere. The merchandise was everywhere. And that's really where it kind of started in 2015 when The Force Awakens came out. And then the YouTube stuff didn't really start happening until like post-pandemic, 2020 or so. And then of course having kids too. Right. So my stepdaughter, I started dating her mom when she was 2. And so that's like right when you start getting into the real stuff. They have the Duplo big stuff for toddlers, but she started getting into it. And then Lego Masters, so the show on Fox. Right. So I don't know if you all are familiar, but they're on season 3 now. I haven't seen season 3. I need to catch up. But
I haven't watched season 3 yet either. But
yeah,
so, great host.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, it's I've always wanted that because there's a lot of on YouTube. There's builders that will build like the table you have over there, the slot cars, like huge. They call them mocks, my own creations, dioramas, if you will. Yeah. But to see that put into a show is awesome. So that was a third contributing factor. It was like Star Wars coming back, kids, and then Lego Masters was enough to fully push me back in. So those are the 3 contributing things to get me out of the dark age.
And so, does the Lego movies go into that too, or are you?
I've only seen one of them.
Probably one of them. One.
So yeah, the Lego video games I have a little, well, of course, nostalgia for because they came out when the Lego Star Wars was first coming into the scene. But the Lego games, me and my stepdaughter are really, really big into. Yeah, we got the new Star Wars one that came out recently. So the games as well. I have all the movies too, of course. Yeah, own them all on Blu-ray.
I got into Indiana Jones Lego the game on the Wii when my kids were younger. And Maddie and I, my oldest, she's a big Indiana Jones fan. Loved the movies because of me. I forced her to watch them. Right? But
what are dads for?
But we got in and following the storyline and playing the game, and I had a blast playing that on the Wii. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. So those games are really well thought out. Yeah, great storylines, plots. They follow the movies, and they do a great job with it.
Yeah, speaking of Indiana Jones, that's making a Lego return. So they're doing those set. They did a short, maybe like a year or maybe 2 a year, like a couple waves of sets, but it's making a return this year. So
because the new movie's coming out.
Exactly. Yeah. Movies play a big part in what Lego does. A lot of people have criticism of what they want to see out of a theme, but it's like, well, it's what's relevant. That's what at the end of the day, it's about the almighty dollar. And that is a big factor when it comes into, criticizing Lego sets and stuff. We won't get into it too far, but there was a big jump last year. I don't know if I've seen there's articles about Lego being worth more than gold and things like that, but they know it because they had an increase across the whole line, everything. If you went into Walmart one day before that increase and saw a $200 big giant set, the next day it was $240. So they did a big Luke's land speeder. It's $200. And my co-host on our podcast, he works in big box retail, and he thought this price increase will happen, but maybe just with the new stuff. But it was everything. Wow. Even stuff, and how I mentioned earlier, people come to me with their Lego questions. They're always like, why are Lego sets so expensive? And I'm like, hey, it's expensive. It's IP. It's Disney stuff. It's Star Wars stuff. Marvel stuff.
Yeah, all that's licensing. Yeah. So a lot of that cost 100%. Is licensing. I run into the same thing with slot cars.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
When you look at, because obviously, as you just mentioned, what started out as a hobby and was fairly inexpensive, I don't want to call it inexpensive, has gotten a lot more expensive.
Yeah. So the current stuff has gotten more expensive, but also the aftermarket is crazy with Lego. There's a set that I bought a couple years ago from eBay that I wanted set that I had as a kid, 1999, and part of the very first Star Wars wave. I'm talking with my hands a bunch, like it's a YouTube video, but nobody can see us.
But I'll just sit here and narrate it.
Yeah.
He's gesturing with his right hand now.
That's I always find myself, like anytime I'm on camera doing like video stuff, I talk with my hands so much. But
Same thing.
Yeah.
I don't even get on camera and I do it. So
yeah. But so in terms of aftermarket stuff, the set that I bought a couple years ago, bought it for $50. It was a $7 set when I was 6 or whatever when it came out. And yeah, the after, some people are into Lego, buy Lego. They keep up on all the news and everything. They stay informed, but they don't build anything.
Right.
They flip it like houses. I mean, it's like, I mean,
let it open the box and just.
Oh, well, yeah. 'Cause, I mean, you can resell sets, used, but the value of a brand new one is crazy. There's a set that was maybe like $100 set from 2004. It's a Cloud City set from The Empire Strikes Back, but it's got exclusive minifigures. So that was the only set that had these specific figures. It's got one Boba Fett figure that goes for in the multi-thousands, like $3,000-$4,000 now. And they're grading these things like trading cards, but even the rest of the set has exclusive stuff. So that set is into like the 10, 12,000s. And this is a small, probably retailed for $100. And when we go to the Lego conventions and everything, there'll be someone's probably has one of the figs and they're selling it for a lot. Yeah. But even at the convention I went to last year in Chicago, somebody was one Lego YouTuber to another was selling him just the box so he can do a review, and just the box, a couple $100, just the box. Just a cardboard box. So the resale stuff. We had a guest on our show that was a strictly like reseller. This was early in our days of our podcast, but yeah, his name was Wolf of Bricks. So like Wolf of Wall Street kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah, really good guy. And he just analyzes the game, like what sets are gonna. It's great. It's like stocks. It's wild.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So, do you consider yourself? Obviously, you consider yourself a collector, but do you consider yourself like a purist, where you're not trying to flip these things? You're using them you want to build them, you want to create. Yeah.
So collecting mostly, I want to get into more of like the mocks, like the dioramas, your own creations type of thing. But like when you're collecting sets, it's like you want to keep the sets on display,
right? And
you don't want to take them apart for pieces. But over time, I'm slowly building just parts. There are some people that build a set and they have no problem with taking it down. So in terms of a purist, there's like levels to it in the Lego game. There's people that are just into building their own mocks. They'll get a set, maybe they'll build it, but they'll take it apart instantly. And then you got your collectors that just display. So you have your mock builders, your displays, your people that display things, and then the people that just flip Lego. And so there's a lot of categories to the different types of Lego fans. But I'm definitely mostly a collector. But eventually, I want to get into the custom stuff.
I asked that question to ask this question.
Yeah.
Does it concern you as a collector and as somebody that obviously sits down and does these sets with your stepdaughter, and I assume you have a son, right?
Yeah, he's 15 months, so he's not there yet. He's got the toddler ones though.
But but you want to be able to sit down and do that. Do you ever worry that it's pricing it out for the young kids that probably can't afford? That's
a big topic of discussion. Now, I would say in the last 4 years, since they market towards adults, and they even have like their promo stuff that's like adults welcome, like they're 18 plus. Like these sets I brought in today, these cars, the box art, has a scene behind it. But a lot of the helmet sets, like the Darth Vader helmets and things like that, it's just a black box art, like very mature looking. And so, they've done some stuff that's just crazy. They did a $350 Black Panther bust. And so it's like those helmet sets, but it's like a full on statue, and it's practically like 1-to-1 scale, like life size. It's huge, but it's $350. And then they did a Hulk buster from Marvel that was $500. They did a Hogwarts Express that was $500. And through the years, they've done these, like especially with Star Wars, they've done UCS sets. So Ultimate Collectors. Like I have the Millennium Falcon. It was $800. I used like a finance app to get it. Like I made monthly payments. It's crazy. It's nuts. But you can do that with the Millennium Falcon. It's very iconic, extremely iconic. And, they've done the AT-AT recently in the Star Destroyer. But when you do the Hogwarts Express, that's iconic. But some of these things, it's like you can accomplish it at a smaller scale. And they've done it. They've made smaller Hogwarts Expresses, smaller Hulkbusters. But that's a big topic of discussion in the community on our show. Like, we talk all the time about how, are they going too far with $500 sets? They just came out with the Lord of the Rings set, Rivendell, Lord of the Rings, big return, similar to Indiana Jones. They came out for a couple years, but there's hype. People are excited for the comeback. There's exclusive minifigures in there.
Yeah.
$630. Or, I'm sorry. No, it's $500. But still, we're talking about there's a lot of these they were few and farther between at one point with, the Millennium Falcon and bigger, well-known things. But now it's almost like every other thing. Like, they really, if something has enough popularity, they're like, well, can we make this $500? So it's a good, bad thing. It's a lot of people are concerned with pricing out the normal people or the younger fans.
Which happens in every hobby, every collecting, when you collect things. Do you think, is there a fear that the market, the bottom's going to fall out of the market at some point because they're doing all of this? I think about Beanie Babies.
Yeah.
And I think about Longer Burger baskets.
Oh, yeah.
And all these things that have gone to this hype of, all these special editions and things. Mm. And then all of a sudden you have everything's a special edition.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the market's gone and now people are left with all this collectible that's not worth anything.
Yeah.
Is there a fear that Lego will do that? Or do you think Lego has protected themselves in how they've positioned themselves in the hobby?
So there was a time in, I think it was around when I was a kid, like right when they came out with Lego Star Wars, ironically, like that was one thing that helped them catapult them forward. But there was a time when they went bankrupt. I don't know all the statistics about exactly when it happened. Got a Lego YouTube channel, but I don't know everything. But there was a time when they definitely took a dip financially. But it's been around since 50s, even the 40s. They just had their 90th year, so I'm trying to do the math in my head. But I think that's the only time. It was around the late 90s, early 2000s when they did have a really big financial dip. It was kind of the age of, more people were having cell phones and video games were becoming a lot more popular. So I think for a lot of toys, plastic toys, probably felt the same pain around the time of technology really exploding. But I think because their demographic has gotten so wide now, in the communities too, every social media, I know Lego YouTube has been a thing for a while, but you've got TikTok, you've got Instagram, almost every single social media has a Lego community within that.
Right. Yeah.
And so I would be shocked if they took another dip in sales and maybe went bankrupt again, or, but as far as some of that old vintage stuff, I think a lot of that stuff is pretty safe.
Yeah.
But it's got to be at the height of its popularity. It'd be a good video idea though. I'll have to steal that from you guys. Will it crash again? Yeah. That's clickable right there.
I don't know.
But I think like Marty said though, we've seen, before what you talked about, stamp collecting was huge for a while, coin collecting, and those things are less of a thing now than they were back when I was a kid.
Coin collecting is starting to come back a little bit.
I've heard that, yeah.
But you're right.
Baseball cards have come back, but now it's just oversaturated, in the market. And so, you can't find cards anywhere.
Yeah. Right. I think where Lego, it makes me think of a good point. So when you think about competition for toys, there's a lot of companies that make action figures and do well. I have a few Black Series, Star Wars, I think it's Hasbro. But Lego is one thing where there's not a ton of competition for it. Yes, there's Mega Bloks and they've rebranded into Mega Construct, and they have a few licenses that are desirable from Lego fans like Pokemon, and they've done Call of Duty and Halo. But at the end of the day, like there is several conventions across the country. You know, I can't think of any like Mega Blocks YouTube channels or really anything like that. And there's other companies called like Blue Bricks and like Lego Compatible.
Right.
I always tell people to be careful on Amazon when something says Lego Compatible. If it says that, 100% not Lego.
Exactly. Yeah.
Unless that logo's on the box.
And probably not true.
Yeah. So
I mean, it's we've had that situation happen before.
yeah.
So,
but I think in the long term, because there's not much competition for it, I think, man, like, especially with all the IPs they have, and they're even doing like TV show stuff. They've done 2 Friends sets, a Seinfeld set,
Right.
They've done music stuff. They have these art sets, these big mosaics. They've done Beatles, Rolling Stones. There was an Elvis one. I mean,
I almost bought my wife the flowers. Like
those are
okay.
those are huge in the community right now. My wife
For
loves
Christmas.
them.
Yeah,
and
I was thinking like something unique for Christmas, which she loves puzzles.
yeah,
This is sort of like a puzzle that would be fun to do that together. And
yeah. I tell people that all the time too, because when someone that knows me at work or just knows me, common acquaintance, and someone tells them that I do Lego YouTube, they're like, "So do you like just play with Legos on camera, or like what do you do?" I'm like, "Well, no, I might do that off camera, but no, I don't make videos like that." But
wouldn't be very exciting, would it?
yeah, I mean, so forget where I was going with that. I don't play with Legos on camera.
Well, what do you do on the channel then?
So obviously, I was making videos almost 2 or 3 times a week, even 4 times a week. Right at the start, but having a baby a year ago, and also getting married, and also buying a house, all within months of each other was crazy. I mean, I've probably and last year I probably made like 5 or 6 videos, but the best thing about my podcast is that it was a once a week. We do it live. We don't edit it. I mean, we do some social media working and things like that, but that was, if I didn't have that, people would probably think I quit the game. Like,
right.
I mean, that keeps me, super relevant. And I don't mean to plug another podcast like crazy, but
that's why you're on here.
But like, well, we just hit 1,000 subs on that. And
Nice.
I've been sitting pretty dormantly at like 1,300 on my channel, but it's because I've not really been not making any videos. But with the podcast, I mean, we've had a lot of guests on. I mean, we're limited to just. I'm envious of your guys' podcast and other podcasts that just have a wider range of guests, because ours are like in the YouTube community. So there's Rodrigo Blankenship is a kicker in the NFL.
He's a Georgia guy.
Yeah, and he's super known for being really into Lego. And he was,
okay.
I've met him, took a picture with him. He was at the Brickworld Chicago Lego convention that I go to. It's like the Super Bowl, no pun intended, but the Super Bowl of Lego conventions. And we've talked about maybe trying to get him. But at the end of the day, like, he's still like, he has a separate Instagram just for his Lego stuff. So
really?
It's like, yes, we would technically be getting an NFL player on our podcast, but it would be someone through the Lego space. But we had a couple relatively big names on our show last week. One of them has like over 500,000. He's kind of known as like the Lego Star Wars guy. And then another guy in the community who's, been around for a long time, but this time, sometimes we get guests kind of at the last minute, like a couple days before. This one, we kind of promoted it a little bit more, and those guys both promoted it as well. And I think we had just barely over 600 subs, like prior to the podcast.
Nice.
And then, or before the podcast. And then, so afterwards, or I think yesterday, we hit 1,000. And by far, it was the best episode we've ever done. I think it's coming close to like 6,000 likes or 6,000 views. And because we do it live, we usually, especially for a while, we had a slow climb to like 500. So in terms of how many, subs we had, a live audience would sit around like 30 was good. 30 was good. 30 was good for us live. Cause there's, we post it afterwards. So there's people that are watching when it's not live, but in that show, like 15 minutes in, there was 100 people in the chat, and I looked at looked at them through the StreamYard, and I was like, "Hey, I know you've wanted to hit 100 people in the chat for a while. It happened." And at one point, we were really close to 300 viewers in the chat, and every so often, like since and I mean, 6,000 views on YouTube isn't crazy, but compared to what we had is, and like, so like the sub count was like slowly going up. And
well, you have that experience too with your channel for the slot cars, right? Like, I mean, you started off slow, didn't have much, and then next thing you know, you're building and building and building. And when you get more people, they look at what you're doing and they go, wow, this person kind of knows what they're talking about. Or, they, to your point, like you're not perfect. You don't know everything. Yeah. But you know what? You can speak the language and they're like me. Yeah. That helps a ton.
Yeah.
And I think a big part of it is just being approachable as your channel. I mean, I have a friend that has a large Instagram following, like 500,000 people. And I have I'm about to hit 1,500 on my YouTube channel. Nice. And I told him this morning, dude, I don't know how you do it. I bet I have 60 conversations going on about slot cars at any given moment, at any time of the day. Yeah. Like people are sending me questions and they're wanting to interact. And like, it's awesome. I love it. I'm super passionate about things, but I can't imagine if your number is 500,000, what he has, like the amount of, there's no way he could keep up with all of that. Yeah. Right? So he probably has a team of people that are helping him do that. Yeah. And so when you hit that 600 mark, I mean, you have like 300 people on a live stream. Yeah. That's big. I do a live stream every Tuesday. And I'm getting like 110, 125 people, 133, I think was my top. Yeah. And then immediately after I can go look and see that I had, 385 people throughout the hour and a half that I was on. Like those numbers those are big numbers, and you should be proud of that. That's really good stuff. And it impacts your future shows because there was a credibility that you built. Yeah. Just in that one episode, that there were people watching, they got a chance that maybe they wouldn't have if you didn't have those guests on. Yeah. And then they saw how good you were live. You'll have people tuning in week after week now because of that.
This is big. Horizon Fiber Internet is ready.
Let them get you hooked up and power your Wi-Fi network
with the speed and reliability that only a 100% fiber network can do.
Horizon is ready to help you do what you do better. With real people, real rates, and a real service.
Connect with them today, and the first month is free, plus no contracts and no data caps. Call 740-772-8331
or visit horizonconnects.com/Chillicothe
to sign up today.
So there for a while, my co-host would always say, we got people watching, but it's just other Lego YouTubers. And that's cool, but when are we going to get some normies in here? And it's like, finally slowly over time, the normies were always kind of there, but now and like you said, like when you have a bigger live audience and there's so many questions rolling in, usually we interact with the chat a lot because if there's like 30, 40 of them in there, it's easier for us. But yeah, this last episode,
it's hard to keep up with all
there
that.
Was like, I thought 100 was crazy, and then there was 200, and then there was almost 3, and then when we ended, we did over like 3 hours, and then after that, like the total like click through or the total views after it was said and done was like over 1,000. And like after we have a show that's like out for a week, like we do it live and then it's out for a week, there for a while our average was like a couple hundred, and then 3, and then 4. Right. It's like, so then we've had a few get to like 5 and 6, but yeah, this one was crazy. And I'm like looking through the chat, and that's another thing too. When you have that many people, you got some trolls out there, and you got people that make fake accounts of other channels. And there's a channel that someone made a fake of, and she's known in the community, but not huge. Like probably has like 30, 40,000 subs or so, but I don't think she's checkmarked. Like some of those big channels, and they come in the chat, like, and we see the check mark. Like sometimes we're like, wait, is that the real Solid Brick Studios? And we're like, oh no, he's checkmarked. He's good. Yeah. But now we've started to have people that are moderators. Yeah. And I don't know why we just now did that, because sometimes you'll have some trolls that come in there and are trying to post links and things like that. And you have to boot them out of there. But in this last one, when we had such a big live audience, like there was a couple people that are like, you guys need moderators. I'm like, yeah, no kidding. We probably should have already had them, but yeah. Cause I kept having to delete this person that was acting like another channel. They'll get the same picture. Yeah. Right. Same name and everything spelled the same. and they'll be chatting and other people are chatting back with them. And then they're like, well, that's an impersonator. Let me delete that person. Then but now we have a team of moderators that'll look for that.
Good. I mean, and you learn and you adapt, right? I mean, to your point earlier about, you love that we have this wide range of guests. I mean, we kind of have to, just to make sure that because I mean, honestly, we're not that forward thinking,
Right.
If we get 3 in 2 weeks, we're like, that's pretty active for us.
Yeah.
So like, your
3
niche.
guests.
Yeah. 3 guests in a week. Like if we do that,
I thought you were talking about 3 listens, 3 downloads. 3 downloads in a week.
That was the first week.
Yeah.
Anyhow, but to that point, I think that your audience, and those people are coming to you, and that's great. And I think you'll pick up normies, as you said, because every once in a while I'm on YouTube and I go past something and I go, oh, that's interesting, and I might look at it and go, oh, it's 2 hours. I don't have 2 hours to waste, but I'm still sitting there for like 20 minutes, and then I'll probably come back to it if it's something I really care about.
Yeah. That's been something too, that in a lot of podcasts, especially if it's like a visual one and they put it on YouTube, clips are like a huge thing.
Yeah,
well, honestly, and I don't even want to get into the rabbit hole and the newfound popularity of very, very short content, like with the shorts and the Facebook reels or whatever they're called, the 60-second content. Like it's cool, but especially my co-host Sean, he just turned 43, and so he's got like the retail knowledge because he's worked in big box retail, and so that kind of goes hand in hand into the content. But in terms of being a little more knowledgeable and things like that, he's like, I really hope this really short term style of content doesn't stick. And there's been a lot of people, especially in the YouTube space, because there was a point where people thought YouTube was going to die and it was going to all be TikTok and Instagram reels. But obviously YouTube played their card and they're like, we got to get shorts now. And, but I mean, you got to play your card in that a little bit. So like, we don't post a ton of shorts, but every once in a while when like a funny moment happens on the show or a news breakout or a leak happens of some new Star Wars set, we'll post a short of it. But so it plays into it a little bit. We try not to fall into it too much, but to your point, it's like if someone discovers you and it's like a 2-hour thing and they won't even click on it, but it's like if they see something like a 2-minute clip. So we try to put that stuff in there too, as well.
What I try to do too is if I find something that's 2 hours, I don't have time for it.
Yeah.
I'll subscribe to the channel.
Yeah.
Because I want it to come back into my feed.
Right.
It may not be the same video, but I'm like, oh yeah, I need to go to that baseball channel or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then I go back and try to find that video that I looked at. So, I mean that, you could be getting views views and subs out of that you don't even know about. Right.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I think when you're talking about trying to get normal people to jump in, I think that's where your content on your channel can really come into play. Maybe more so than your podcast. I know you're doing a video podcast and releasing it and doing a live stream.
Yeah.
But I find that, like I approached my channel of I'm a beginner in this.
Yeah.
And just kind of walk with me through this journey. Yeah. And so I get a lot of beginners in the hobby. Because they're like, hey man, I'm in the exact same place you are. I'm trapped between wanting to buy a car every week and needing a new power supply for my track, and weird things like that. And I think from a Lego standpoint, your market is gigantic.
Yeah,
like it really is.
Grows every day.
Yeah,
it's so crazy.
You have it's just finding that thing that gets the newbie, the normal people, the casual Lego person to tune in. And I think once they hear your conversation, they'll tune in more frequently because, I went out and looked at some of your stuff and I was like, yeah, if I was totally into Lego, Mike and I were a little late to Lego.
Yeah.
Not that Lego wasn't around. They weren't great at marketing back when we were a kid.
There wasn't a lot of specialty stuff back when I was a kid, for sure.
I mean, every box was kind of just a bunch of Legos.
Yeah.
Right. And it would always say like 2 to 1 or 99 was, the age group.
Yeah. Like 1 to 9, 2 to 99.
Whatever they did that. And I remember the first so my brother was really into Lego, and so we're 5 years apart. And so he was super into Lego, super into Star Wars. That was before they were doing the theme stuff. And for Christmas, my mom got me a, I think they call them technical or Technic sets.
Yeah. Well, like
but this was
pins and rods that go into.
Yeah. So this was what it was called before they called it Technics. I don't remember. I have it in the garage. But it was you
have it still, and it's from when? It's probably worth the money now.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
it is from, this would have been probably 78.
Oh yeah.
Or 79.
The golden age.
You get that part
80.
number and look it up on eBay and see what you're working with.
You could make a go-kart,
Just think of all the slot cars you could buy with that.
a mini bike.
Exactly.
There was like 3 or 4 things you could make out of it.
They still do that now. Or they still do that now. It's like 3-in-1. Like you buy a set, but you can build 3 things.
Yeah, and it was fascinating. But I made the go-kart and the mini bike. I made all 3 of them, but it was the go-kart I thought was really cool, and I kept that on display. And that was my really only touch with Lego until my kids were born, and they went through the Duplo and then into early sets, and of course, when you're not a collector, they all end up in a box together.
Yeah.
And so then we were sorting.
That's what we have at our house right now.
When we were talking about Dark Ages way at the beginning, I didn't go fully into it, but so I don't have any of my childhood stuff. Not one thing. Not one thing. So when I
sold at yard sales or something like that.
I don't know if this is worse or better, but at one point, probably when I was like 13, 14, my mom was teaching at Ross County Christian still, RCCA, and she's like, "Can I just take this to the school for the kids?" I'm like, "Sure." I don't want it anymore. I don't care. I want to skateboard with my friends. Yeah, I want to skate. I don't want any of my childhood toys. None of my, Kenner Star Wars action figures and all that cool stuff. None of the Pokemon cards. None of the baseball cards. I don't care about it. I just want to skateboard.
Yeah.
So I don't have any of that stuff anymore. But it all went to a school with young kids. Maybe it's still there, but it was every single set in the very first line of Harry Potter sets that came out in 2001. My grandma completely spoiled me. I was really getting into Harry Potter. Again, the themes were huge with me. Like I liked Star Wars, but I already had a lot of Star Wars toys. I already had lightsabers and other things and X-Wings and all that. So Harry Potter was a big Lego draw for me because I was like, I don't really have any Harry Potter toys. There wasn't that much of it yet because it was first coming out.
Yeah.
But yeah. Nope. Don't have any of it. So sadly, but then you have now where it's a lot of people that get back into it that don't have any of their childhood set. They fall into this hole of buying stuff on the aftermarket. And how I mentioned earlier, the aftermarket sellers, it gets crazy. Like some of those sets I won are 3-4 times their retail value. So
were you already friends with your co-host, and then, or how did that work out? How did you guys?
No, he's from LA. It's kind of a wild story. Not wild, but it's not. He's definitely not a buddy I've known for a while. So he was just, shout out to Sean. I'm gonna have him check this out.
Yeah.
He'll probably look at some of your other stuff too. He's a good guy. But no, he was just watching one of my streams on my channel where I would just build sets and talk to the chat and hang out. And he just kind of messaged me out of nowhere. It was like, "Hey, how do you feel about doing a podcast?" And I instantly was just like, "Yeah, I want to." He's like, "I understand. Like, we don't really know each other or anything, but I used to do like a pop culture podcast thing." Oh yeah. So
to commentate while these guys are, Marty must have found what he found his
that's
set
sick.
online. It's out in his garage.
I could walk out there and get it in about 10 minutes.
And
do you have the
he's
box?
showing him on his
The
phone.
box. Oh, pieces. I took good care of my toys, man.
Yeah, Marty was the
854.
anti-mic, I think.
That's the set number?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway, I digress.
now,
I don't want to stop completely, but
we
in
need to pause.
5 seconds, I'll tell you how much that's going for right now. We don't have to. You get. Sorry,
amongst yourselves.
It'll be interesting right now if we find out. It'd be funny. Okay,
I'll sing a song.
You said 844?
854.
54.
854.
See, that's when you know it's an old set when there's less numbers. All the set numbers now are like 5 digits.
Oh yeah.
So 854.
Yeah, like these two that you have
Wait,
right here.
are you sure it was just 854?
Yeah. Is it missing a digit?
No, that's right. That's a really short set number. I like. Yeah, it's like hard to even find. So
there you go. You have the only one in the whole world.
Well, so sometimes eBay. I looked on eBay. I won't do any more digging. But Bricklink. If any of you want to get your childhood Lego sets now that we're talking about it, and you're thinking back in your head like, oh, I used to have that pirate ship. Bricklink is eBay, but only Lego, and it's so official to the point that Lego actually owns it now.
Okay.
Wow.
So that would be where you can find out the real value.
Lego basically said, "Oh, somebody's making a lot of
Let
money."
me get a slice of that.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So you were talking about Sean, basically that he asked you to come on the podcast, and that's kind of how it all worked.
Sorry, he found out the old set he had, and I thought, how much is that?
Yeah,
sorry about that. We'll find that out after this. No, so yeah, he was just watching one of my streams, and he hit me up and asked me if I wanted to do it, and I instantly said yeah. But he's like, I know we don't really know each other, but I used to do like a pop culture thing, and like I'll send you the link to that, and you can listen to a few episodes. And then of course we did a test podcast where we weren't live. And even that went super well. Like both of us were like, should this just be the first episode? But we've kind of always had the idea of like, well, if we ever get to the point where we make a Patreon, we'll make that a Patreon exclusive, or even on YouTube. You can do like memberships on YouTube now. Yeah. We'll make that a members only thing. The very first OG episode.
Yeah. Do you see your channel coming back?
Yeah, 100%. Because my son finally sleeps through the night most of the time now. There was a long time where I would, I'd go downstairs, set up the tripod, get whatever things I needed, or get all my eggs in a basket for a video, and then I hear him wake up. And so it got to a point, and also too, like with having a baby, man, like in between that and work, and actually the other podcast I was on, which wasn't it wasn't live, but they still have it's still through StreamYard. So, they had their questions, or we talked a lot about like why I wasn't making videos. And when you have a baby, like a baby, and you work, it comes down to, your days off aren't really days off sometimes. And then it's like when you finally get time to yourself, it's not that I don't like doing YouTube videos, but it's sometimes you just want to do lower effort things in your free time.
Yeah, I get it.
So that was a
I don't
big.
think people realize the energy and effort it takes to create content.
Yeah, that too, because and my wife all the time will kind of say like, I'll just go, like, you have an hour, I'll just make a video and post it. And I'm like, well, I could do that. Probably won't turn out the way I want, but then there's making the thumbnail, and then usually I post on my Instagram about it. And when I edit something, I'm like, I'll proof watch it like 4 or 5 times and slowly cut things out that I don't think need to be there. And so
wait, if you do
I work
a 2-hour show, you'll proof watch it?
So not with my stuff.
Oh,
so
okay.
the podcast is live. We don't touch it.
Okay.
Is that on its own separate channel? Or is it on your, okay.
So it's completely set. So my own channel's been sitting, since I haven't really been making that many videos, it's been sitting around like 1,300 for a while.
So that's Brent's Bricks.
That's the Brent's Bricks thing. And then the podcast thing is a couple of Brickheads.
So you're almost 1,500 now.
Yeah.
On your channel.
I must be having more people come over from the new subscribers in the podcast.
1.4.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's literally just because the podcast has been doing well. So
awesome.
Yeah.
I owe the podcast listeners a thank you, just because, I mean, like I said earlier, like I haven't had time to do videos on my own as much because, raising babies, moving into a new house, doing all that stuff. But the podcast is once a week, and because we don't edit because it's not edited, it's live, and then it just posts.
Yeah.
It's just every Thursday for 2 to 3 hours, depending on whatever guest. And I'll make the thumbnail for it, and promote it on Instagram. But aside from that, there's no editing or really anything that goes into that.
What's the name of that channel?
That's just a couple of brickheads.
Oh, okay.
4 words. I think if you at us at just ACOB, ACOB, I think that's our handle.
All right.
I don't know. My co-host handled that.
Okay.
No pun intended, but he handled the handle.
Yeah, I saw he did that. Is there a part of this for you that kind of feels like you've reconnected with that thing in your youth? I mean, I know that for both of us.
Yeah.
With what we're doing. I mean, mine's on a completely different level. play a game called Strat-O-Matic baseball, and I sit there by myself and play this game in front of my kids. And my son plays sometimes with me, but in all honesty, like, my wife will look at me and she'll, oh, who's winning tonight? Like, you know,
you have to link me to that game because I do love baseball.
Yeah,
I play a lot of MLB The Show.
So do I.
Nice.
My son is really into it.
Yeah.
Of course, he's so much better than I am.
Yeah.
But do you feel like you've like kind of reconnected to that youth?
100%, especially through the themes, like the Lego themes of like Lego Harry Potter and Lego Star Wars, because like when Disney bought Star Wars and the movies were coming back, the Lego sets were always there because even after the prequels in the early 2000s, there was the Star Wars shows and stuff. So they still made Lego sets of that. But I mean, 2015, when Star Wars was back on the silver screen, the merch was everywhere. Yeah. Everywhere. Every store you went into, there was a Kylo Ren Pepsi, or it was everywhere. Yeah. And that in and of itself, like the Star Wars hype coming back, reminded me of 1999 when I was like 5, 6, and Episode 1 was everywhere. Yeah. And I had some of that Lego stuff too, but like I said, I was a little more into the Harry Potter, but the themes, the themed sets are where a lot of my nostalgia is, for sure. 100%.
Do you think you'll ever get to the point? I follow quite a few Lego channels on Instagram.
Yeah.
One of them is a Speed Champions Lego channel.
Probably follow Speed Champions Raceway or something. Yeah. He does a lot of custom stuff. Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah. It does a lot of mods. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Do you ever think you'll get to a place in your new place that you'll have a Lego room?
I do.
Or
I already got one.
You already got one.
So there's some pretty impressive. That's why I had to buy the new house.
I knew exactly which room in the house was going to be my Lego room before we got the house.
Okay. Yeah.
But I had an advantage because we actually bought my grandpa's house.
Okay.
So we were looking for houses before we even looked at that one. I kind of knew what we wanted, like 3 bedrooms, whatever. But before we looked at the house, I told my wife, it's like, I know this house, literally every square foot of it. I think you're going to like it a lot. And she ended up liking it a lot. So I felt good about that choice.
Yeah.
But I already knew it has like a 4th bedroom that's kind of in the basement. So that's my Lego room.
Nice.
So are your sets in the room? Are they put together, or are they boxed, or how's that work?
I had a Lego room in the house we were renting, and moving all that stuff's not fun. So especially when you have a 7,541 piece Millennium Falcon, that is like, would take up a lot of this table we're talking at right now. Like it's the size of an average like kitchen table. So that was moved. That was only moved by itself. Yeah. Like there was no other things in the car. I got in the back of our SUV and my friend drove, and I laid down cradling this giant Millennium Falcon. I actually made a TikTok of that, and I don't make very many TikToks, but that particular one kind of popped off a little bit and got views because I'm like in the back of this moving car with this giant Lego set. But so I still have a lot of sets that are built, but just in bags. Right. That was kind of my strategy. I was like, when you're moving so many Lego sets that are already built, pieces are going to fall off. So if I just bag everything up, pieces fall off, I'll be okay. It'll be in one bag. Right. Some of the other big stuff though, you got to do special things like lay down with it in the back of an SUV so it arrives to the house safely. So
all in one piece.
Yeah. And I still have a lot
track over here.
Yeah, no, I'm really
get that thing out of here if you ever move.
It's plastic, comes apart.
No, that thing, honestly, even just like the aesthetics of it, even like taking some pictures of some Lego vehicles on there would look awesome.
Yeah.
Track and everything.
There you go. You got a partnership between these two YouTube channels now.
I need to hook you up with Raul. He might be somebody that comes on, that could come on your show to talk about his merging of Lego and slot cars.
Does he happen to work on vehicles himself?
No, but
it's a different guy. I thought I knew this person you were talking about.
He's Raul's in Toronto.
Oh, okay.
Toronto, Canada. Conquest Racing.
Okay.
He's into all kinds of things, but he wanted to do something with his daughter. Yeah. And he loves slot cars, has been back in the hobby for a couple of years. And she's not really into slot cars. She likes to crash them. But she loves Legos. Yeah. And so, dude, I think he dropped like $3,000 on Lego sets just to build.
It happens that Lego total at the Lego store can rack up real quick. Oh, yeah. And they're really big into gift with purchases. So to relate back with a little bit of when we were talking about the aftermarket, the reselling and everything, they do these gift with purchases. And because it is technically a free gift and you can't go and buy it, those are some of the ones that skyrocket in value a lot.
Yeah.
Like they'll do a Luke's lightsaber, like just the handle, just the hilt of the lightsaber. But you can only get it if you buy the $800 AT-AT, which I did. But the thing is that Luke's lightsaber, you could turn around and flip that in just a couple months when the promo is done and sell it for a couple $100. And in theory, you can get your $800 set for $600. Now I have a lot of these gift with purchases that are either too cool and I don't want to sell it, or
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of this, there are strategies to go about. Like there are a lot of people that don't only resell, like they don't see themselves as Lego resellers. But if there's a gift with purchase thing going on, they'll stack and they'll just get an extra one to kind of cover what they spent.
Sure.
Or if there's sets that are very close to retirement, because that's another big thing about Lego. Sometimes a set will only be available for 1 year and it's gone forever. So if you buy there's a set that's about to retire, but I'm going to buy a couple of them to then kind of pay for the hobby a little bit. So there are some people, I mean, I've only sold a couple sets on eBay, but consciously in the back of my head, there are some stuff I have duplicates of to where I'm like, well, I'll just let that, as my co-host says on my podcast, I'll let that chill on ice for a while.
Yeah. That's right.
And then in a couple years, I'll have that to help cover my expenses for my hobby.
Yeah.
Because it being so expensive and like you say, you buy one set of a helmet line and you're like, well, I got to have Darth Vader. I got to have Boba Fett. I got to have the Stormtrooper, Scout Trooper, Mandalorian. And it's just, there's 10 of them. And you're like, well, I have half of them. Let me get the rest.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
So
it adds up really quick.
oh yeah.
They know how to every hobby. It doesn't matter.
And I'm sure they talk
Hobbies are
about it in their market when they're having their team meetings with everything, because they 100% do that type of stuff on purpose to where a Star Wars wave comes out, say there's 10 sets, and like for the Disney trilogy, there was these Knights of Ren, and they weren't really in the movies that much at all, but they looked cool. So good for toys. But there's like 6 of them, but they're spread across like 5 sets.
Yeah.
So how bad do you want all those minifigures? You might not even want all the 5 sets that bad, but you find yourself buying them because
You want those other
it's the only way to get them.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you got, or you can turn to the aftermarket and buy them individually, but it all depends on how expensive they get. But they definitely know what they're doing in terms of exclusive minifigures. Because some people out there that only collect minifigures are huge on. They want to get every Star Wars minifigure that's ever made. They'll buy a set, take the figs out. That's why if you go in the aftermarket, you'll see a lot of sets 100% complete minus the minifigures, or it'll say no minifigures. So some people
basically just sold them off.
Yeah. They go after the minifigures, so they'll sell the rest of the set. So, but Lego knows what they're doing. They know how to get you.
One of the sets that I have not picked up. Again, I don't collect Lego, but I did get a Speed Champions last year.
Yeah.
I had that Ferrari, the 512M. It's one of my favorite cars of all time. It's really pretty cool. And so then I was looking, and I'm a VW guy.
Yeah.
And they've got the bus, the Volkswagen bus.
Yeah.
And I really should have picked that up years ago when it was cheaper.
Because I think it retired a handful of months ago, and every Lego set at least resells for its value. Like if a Lego set retails for $20 and it retires and then it's only selling for like $30, it's probably because it wasn't very good and no one really cares about it. But most Lego sets double, triple, quadruple their retail value. It's crazy. Yeah. But who knows if it will ever crash? Because there's really some people out there that they can literally make a living off of flipping Lego sets. Yeah. It's crazy. There's a lot of people out there that are doing it. And it's crazy because some of those guys have channels on it. And of course they'll get backlash from the community. They're like, you're buying all these stormtroopers from Star Wars and little Timmy can't buy any. And they're like, well, little Timmy can go online, get him somewhere else. Or he can go to the next store.
Yeah.
So there's good and bad to the reselling aspect of it.
But you have that in everything.
Yeah, I agree.
Anything that's collectable, you will always have that.
Yeah.
So
Scalpers.
You can't sleep it.
Just to use a baseball card analogy, the 80s and late 80s and 90s, the market was flooded. And now you'll see these people go on and sell. Hey, we've got a wax box of Donruss 1999 or whatever, 90, and they're selling it for like $50. And you're like, every one of those cards is saturated in the market. You're not going to get a dime out of those things, and so you just have to be selective, and you have to be real. You have to scrutinize things and know what's right and what's going to, get you something out of it if you really want that, or if you just want that wax box for the nostalgia of 1990, then I guess you'll buy it, right?
Oh yeah.
So
does Lego make a big deal about what's coming up next? Like, do they release like at the beginning of the year the range for the year?
So that is a whole nother interesting thing. There are Lego YouTube channels that are only modeled off of leaks and news, of course, like when stuff is actually officially revealed. But it's crazy. It's like we've talked about this a lot in the community on everyone's talked about it, but leaks happen, and it's a lot on Instagram, and it'll be a blurry picture that somebody took a picture of in some factory somewhere and sent it to someone and sent it to someone.
Right?
Yeah. And so now when stuff is officially revealed, Lego will make a post on their Instagram, and then it'll finally come out. Other times though, they just did this recently. All these new cars, these are a little older. They're not super old. They came out like last year, but a bunch of new cars came out this year, a couple Harry Potter sets, a couple Star Wars sets. They did like a BTS Lego set that sold out crazy. I wasn't super familiar with BTS, but I guess they're crazy popular around the world. So that set selling out like crazy. But then on the day when those sets came out, they just dropped a Star Destroyer on their website. Not a huge one, but like a $70 nice display model, like a super Star Destroyer. There was no leaks, no hints, no rumors of it at all. It was like a shock drop, as my buddy referred to it. And so sometimes that happens, but a lot of times, like, there's huge leaker channels out there. There's leak Instagram accounts that just post like a lot of rumors. It goes from like rumors to then leaks, and it's officially revealed. But like I said, there are channels out there that I've seen start from 5,000 and grow all the way up to a channel called Brick Clicker. And he has like 40K, 50K, like he's exploding, but it's because he covers every nook and cranny of every rumor or leak that comes out. So
he's made it his full-time job.
Yeah, right.
And so, like Lego, it's weird. Some people have theories like, do they leak the sets themselves?
Yeah, right.
Just to get the hype going? That's always been kind of a question. Like, who gets the blurry picture first? Because anyone that has a source has another source.
Oh, yeah,
so it's, you can never really figure out exactly, but it's probably an employee in a factory somewhere that takes a picture, sends it to a friend. Don't send this to anybody. Don't worry, I'm not. I'm only going to send it to my buddy, Ralph. Ralph, don't send this to anybody. I'm not only going to send it to my cousin, Timmy.
Yeah.
Can you trust cousin Timmy? Because then cousin Timmy might post it somewhere, and then the big Instagram accounts get to it. So sometimes they hype stuff up, but it's weird. It goes from like rumors to leaks, and sometimes some stuff comes out of nowhere, but the leakers are so on top of it that most stuff usually is like rumored and then it's leaked.
Yeah.
So.
Well, this is first of all, I love what you're doing. Thanks for the gift. That's an incredibly
awesome.
Nice gesture.
Oh yeah.
But I just love your energy and your passion around it, because it's just something fun. All three of us kind of have our own little hobbies that we're trying to just have some fun at. But it's competitive things, right? Like whenever the dollar's involved, things get a little crazy. So
it can.
Well, we wish you well as you try to kind of get back into the video game again. Well, we'll just hope we'll send good vibes that your son keeps sleeping.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm banking on.
I think for a lot of different reasons.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, for my own sleep, and for I'm sitting on a lot of footage and stuff already. So some of it is a matter of just me finally sitting down for a while and doing a little bit more editing and finally posting some stuff. It's become a running joke because I have like vlogs and footage from Brickworld Chicago 2022, and Brickworld Chicago 2023 is happening in like 3 months. And like I have my room booked and I'm going again. And it's a running joke at this point, like on our podcast, like, Brent's going to post his 2022 Brickworld content. Is he going to post it before 2023 though? Who knows?
Let's
just do a 2022 and 2023
together. Well, I think as the hype starts to hype up for it, because like I mentioned earlier, it's like the Super Bowl of Lego conventions. Like all the Lego YouTubers go there. The Lego Masters from the TV shows go there, and or the show on Fox. They're all there. It'll be good to post it when the hype is building up for the next one. So it'll tie in.
Well, hey, good luck with all that. I think it's just fun to see it. Marty seems to know much more about it than I do, because the only thing I do is put them together. My daughter, my 7-year-old daughter, is actually more into it than my son is.
Well,
so
I think
that's kind of interesting.
with these Speed Champs cars, like they're 8+ because they're not like a crazy super giant build, but a regular builder can knock that out in an hour. And the building techniques, even in these small Speed Champs cars, it's enough to get you in. My buddy Sean always kind of it's a gateway drug. You get one $20 set, but these ones in particular, because they're not too difficult to where a casual fan can't get into them. But this is what I recommend newer fans. And
they
I mean,
look good though.
Yeah, and like because you can build the Disney stuff and like the stuff that your kids would want. But it's like my 7-year-old wouldn't want these because it's just a car. But like when you build it as an adult, and if you have appreciation for cars, plus if it's from an IP like James Bond, that's even cooler. Yeah. But whichever one you go home with, or you can build them both, keep them here, whatever you guys want to do.
There you go. Well, hey, awesome. Again, thanks very much.
If you become addicted to Lego, sorry.
It's all good.
It's never too late. It's never too late.
Well, thanks again, Brent.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, thanks. You're listening to the Feels Like Home podcast with Mike Throne and Marty Ford. Powered by Horizon. This is big. This is gig.
It feels a little strange, but I don't feel alone. We just settled in and it all